Okay, so gonna go over the ladder real quick. Pretty basic. Well, actually not really at all, but so I don't have any animations for this, so we're just going over the actual mechanics. So right now I just hit a interact key. So right now I'm stuck on the ladder. I can only move up or down. There are two ways to dismount from the ladder. You can use an interact key, or if you press the jump button. So jump, and if you just do the interact key, you don't jump, you just fall. And you don't have to be directly in front of the ladder, but there is sort of like a general area. It's like right about here, right there. You have to be at least that close to it before you can activate it. So yeah, that is how what I've got set up right now. It's pretty rough. Animations will make it look a lot better, um, but that's that. All right, so if all you wanted to see was the mechanic, then this is pretty much the end of the video. If you want to see some of the background stuff, from this point on I'm going to be showing some of what actually went into making the ladder. So, the ladder is actually basically just this and these pieces. So I've got like kind of a mid ladder and then the very top. Inside here, this is how the ladder is constructed. And so what this says is that based off the height depends on what pieces of the ladder exist. So as you notice, this is a lot taller than, you know, that. So take this, and the ladder height is actually controlled and everything moves along with it. So I can take it all the way down to nothing, or 10,000. So I can make the ladder as tall or as short as I want, which is incredibly versatile, obviously. I think 1,000 is what I had it at before. That looks about right. Um, so with this is what dictates kind of the height. So this height basically controls everything. You set whatever the height is to, and then it adds mid pieces, and then this down here adds the top of the ladder. Let's see. And then this is for the box. This is what dictates when you can grab onto the ladder, basically. That's something else. From here, this is how the ladder tells the player when you can grab onto it. So this is you take the ladder box, which the ladder box scales with the ladder's height, and is, centered on it, very small, so that way you can only grab from a specific place. And this changes the movement modes. Well, this basically just changes this one variable, actually. It says you can climb the ladder, and it sets the ladder to self, which is important. When you leave the box area, it does the opposite. It sets the movement mode back to walking, which is the traditional mode, and then it changes the plane constraints, sets, is climbing and can climb off ladder to negative. And then inside the player, this is the ladder climbing system. Whatever. Anyways, sets the ladder climbing system. So this is the input button. It checks if is climbing is true, which as we just saw over, oh, wrong one. As we just saw over here, that's where, let's see where, actually I don't even remember where it is. There's a lot of different places, so sometimes it's hard to find in the moment. So it checks is climbing. If is climbing is false, then it goes to the next branch. goes can climb ladder, which that is what is actually set right here, can climb ladder. It stops whatever movement you're making immediately, sets movement mode to flying, which allows you to negate gravity. It changes the plane constraints so that you cannot move left and right. You can only move up and down. It sets is climbing to positive, and it sets can climb off ladder to positive as well. If you press the input action again, then right here it checks is climbing, and if is climbing is true, what it does is it immediately sets you to walking, and it changes the plane constraints, sets those to negative. That's when you like hit the interact key and you immediately fall off the ladder. That's that. And then I also set it up so if you hit the jump key while you are if you hit the jump key while you are on the ladder, the first thing it does is it checks is climbing, and then if you are climbing, it goes straight down here and allows you to jump off the ladder, and then it continues the rest of the jumping code, well, jumping logic. And this is just the up and down movement, so this is the input axis for being able to move up and down the ladder, which checks various variables about whether the keys are held or not held at any point in time. Let's see, it's going, yeah. And then let's see, yeah. I mean that's basically this controls to make sure that you move only up or down at any period of time, in addition to everything else. And this sets which direction you're actually moving. And that's basically it. So this is a bunch of this is stuff I tried out that didn't really work, and I kind of just threw it over here to the side so that I could keep it in case I wanted to relook through what I'd already done, so I didn't like lose track of stuff. But yeah, I mean the actual ladder itself was a lot of fun to build. This is actually not being used. This is kind of dead as well. I was trying out another thing and it didn't really end up working, so I left it there for the moment and I'll delete it later. But this whole thing right here was actually, I really enjoyed that. Like the designing the ladder to be as tall or as short as you want and having the other things move along with it. Learning to design that kind of gave me some ideas and some realizations that I could use that for more than just, you know, ladders. Like I wouldn't want to use it for everything, but you could make walls, floor pieces, and everything else that's like you could scale to this, or I could make an offshoot of the same thing, like instead of a ladder, maybe like a climbable wall, give it a different sort of material, and maybe change some of the code up to allow you to go left and right as well, and then you could have a wall that's actually climbable as well, which I think would be pretty neat. So yeah, so that's that.